Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Poverty Chronicles. Thanks for joining me today for our newest video. I want to talk to you about something that is very scary for people to talk about, but it's very necessary. I want us to talk about what our current spending habits are. So when we think about spending, people sort of put their head in the sand. We don't really want to talk about it because we don't really want to think about it that much. People sit across from me and think that I'm going to tell them all the things that they can't do anymore, right? They think that I am about to make them have all these lifestyle changes, take all the fun out of life, and that's not what having a great spending plan is about. Having a great spending plan is about acknowledging your spending habits, not necessarily changing them right away, because the most important thing is to know where your money is going. Right? So the first thing you want to do is, number one, identify what are my current spending habits. That includes everything, right? You're going to start tracking all of your household expenses, right? What does it take to run my household? How much money does it cost me to run my household? And just like a business, which is what we're going to talk about in the next week or so, but we want to talk about running your household like a business. So in order to do that, you need to know exactly how much money is coming in and exactly how much money is going out. So that requires you to know where your money is going, categorizing it through your housing expenses, your transportation costs, right? How much does it cost you to get where you're going every day? If you work outside the home, either you drive or you catch the bus or you Uber or you jitney, whatever you do, those are transportation costs. And you need to be tracking everything that is included in that category. Now, here's the one that I noticed that everybody does, but nobody knows how much money they're spending on it. Food. Nobody knows how much money they're spending on food. It's like an afterthought, right? We know we have to do it, but because we know we have to do it, we don't think that much about it because we feel like, hey, everybody's got to eat. But the reality is, food is the third highest expense in your budget, right under housing and transportation. For most of us, food is the next most expensive thing in our budgets, and it doesn't have to be. But it's also the one that we pay least attention to, which is bad because food is practically the only thing in your budget that is a high-end expense that you have 100% control over. You can't control your housing expense. You can't call your landlord or your mortgage company and say, hey, you know what? I think this mortgage is too much. I don't want to pay it anymore. You can't do that. You can't contact the utility companies and tell them how much their utilities cost is ridiculous. You can't do that. But with food, if you pay attention, if you do some of the things that I'm going to be telling you about, food is the number one place that you should be starting if you're trying to cut back. And it's because you have 100% control over how much money you spend on food. Now, knowing that it's also the one area that we pay the least amount of attention to, it's the one that I tell people to start watching out for first. So number one, if you are working outside of the home and you are buying lunch out every day, I want you to calculate how much that's costing you. The average person, there's been a few studies done that say that the average person is spending at least $10 a day on lunch. And I honestly think that's a very low number because believe me, I've eaten out on occasion too, and I know I'm spending more than $10. But the least, $10 a day. If you work 5 days a week, that's $50 a week. For 4 weeks, that is $200 a month. Now, who couldn't use an extra $200 a month, right? So just think about that. If you're spending $200 a month just on lunch, and you're not counting when you get home and you pick up the kids and you don't feel like cooking or you didn't plan for cooking, right? You didn't plan any meals. Now you have to go find dinner. Think about how much that's costing you. Think about on the weekends when you go out for dinner or you're treating yourself, right? Think about how much you're spending doing that. Think about if it's a lazy Sunday and you just don't feel like getting up and you order in. Calculate that. Do that, right? Do that exercise. Calculate how much money are you spending. Just do a week, right? Start by doing that. There's your extra money. There's the beginning of a great savings, right? I want you, that's my assignment for you guys. And then we're going to talk about this more in the next video. How much money are you spending just on food? And in the next episode, we're going to talk about how you can take that money and make allocations and make very different decisions about money that are going to increase your savings just by changing how you spend money on food. We're going to start with that one because that is the one that 80% of the people that I work with, that's where they acknowledge they can make some real change. I guarantee if you do this exercise, you're going to be very surprised how much money you're wasting on food. And again, this is not a bad thing. It's a great thing because this is where you have 100% control. This is where you can start making change. All right, I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. We're going to talk about this more. We're going to find some other ways to find that hidden money. But once you tackle food, your eyes are going to be open. And we have to talk about how you can make those changes immediately. All right? Enjoy your evening. Try not to order out tonight, okay? And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.